corridor, if any of you have heard of that, we are the state accessible to most other states in the nation. So it makes us very pivotal in the whole logistics conversation. It has provided a 10-to-1 return on the investment for taxpayers, and it created over 48,000 new jobs. This and technological advancements of schools will be key factors in helping recreate Ohio's economic base. Ohio cannot successfully grow without the proper infrastructure and ability to use telecommunications in an inexpensive and efficient manner. Legislators have modernized Ohio's telecommunications laws, and House Democrats have pioneered a common-sense regulatory reform act to reduce overburdensome rules and to aid small businesses. House Democrats have fought for a $1.1 billion investment of federal stimulus funds into Ohio's economy to support Ohio's roads and bridges. The House has also worked to ensure Ohio secured $400 million in federal resources to begin the 3C passenger rail service in Ohio. These investments have helped stem the tide of the national recession while also strengthening the Ohio economy for the long-term growth. House Democrats and Governor Ted Strickland have worked to ensure that Ohio will soon become known as America's energy gateway by creating more green jobs than any other state in the nation. In addition to working on legislation that encourages the development of wind and solar energy, we have also created the Ohio Energy Resource Center to provide 21st century research and tools for the new economy. By preparing Ohioans for tomorrow's economy, we are making crucial steps towards the economic recovery right now and making substantial advances towards prosperity in the future. The Advanced Energy Resource Center will be established at Ohio University in order to better position the state with energy efficiency and to cultivate the green-collar economy. The center will provide technical expertise to local governments and municipalities looking to develop a project that will incorporate advanced energy. Simultaneously, efforts have been invested in the creation of jobs and protecting Ohio's family farmers by developing areas of immediate need and strong growth potential. A few of these areas are aquaculture, food distribution development, renewable energy, and bioproduct development. The Democratic Party has invested in initiatives that will make sure we are well equipped to meet the demands of the 21st century economy. Legislators have initiated a training program in the emerging fields of biotech and bioscience. As a part of the state stimulus package, there has been a $5 million investment in co-op and internships relative to these two fields. In order to support Ohio's largest industry, preservations have been made to the Ohio Agricultural Research and Development Center, as well as the OSU Extension Center for Research. Business startup competitions for college graduates will foster creativity among recent graduates by supporting the authorization of up to $250,000 in co-op internship funds towards awards to students at Ohio institutions of higher education for starting businesses. Those awards will be $50,000 each. It is also important to note that the Democratic Party has made concessions to enable the Ohio Department of Development the authority to create a program encouraging businesses to hire individuals from significantly disadvantaged groups, such as high school dropouts, ex-felons, the disabled, and those that have been out of the workforce for more than 18 months. There are also some fairly immediate and well-known job projects that will be underway within a matter of months. There are 3 construction reform demonstration projects quickly moving toward groundbreaking in 3 parts of the state. Project 1 is the Ohio State University Medical Project, which actually held the pre-bid instruction meeting this morning. That's a $1.7 billion project. The next is Central State University's $1 million historic preservation project. And finally, the University of Toledo's $6.7 million Biosphere Center project. All 3 projects create a few thousand jobs through construction and will yield about 2,000 permanent jobs after completion. Then we have the casino and wind solar job projects, again, both bringing initial construction jobs and permanent jobs in communities around the state of Ohio upon completion. We're presently putting together several working groups. Another thing that they asked me to speak to briefly is the healthcare, the federal mandate on healthcare reform and how that's going to impact us here. And we're trying to identify what legislative adjustments are going to be necessary. So we're putting working groups together to actually assess the $15,000 document, figure out what we need to do to respond to that legislatively, and make sure that we're in position to be compliant and responsive by the beginning of the year. On a personal level, I just agreed to participate in a national effort targeting children called Connecting Kids to Coverage, which is out of Secretary Sebelius's Health and Human Services office, because of the 70,000, not sure of that number, just had this meeting yesterday. But there, I'll say 70% of the uninsured children could be covered by existing programs. So what this program is about is just identifying where these children are, reaching out to them and getting them under coverage as soon as possible. So as you can see, Ohio is focused on protecting jobs, creating jobs, and new industries and business attraction. We're looking forward to the future and investing in job training and job readiness as well. We're confident that we will weather the economic storm and be stronger for it on the other side, prospering in the future and leading the way in our region and in our nation. I want to thank you again for inviting me here to your luncheon series. It's been very exciting. I look forward to having an opportunity to talk to you. If there are any things that I didn't expound on that you have questions about, I will be around and happy to engage you in answering any of those questions. So thank you so much, and I hope we get to talk.
Do we have any questions right now, too? We're about the topic that spoke about? No.
Yes, sir.
I have a quick question.
Sure.
How does Ohio's budget compare to other states?
Well, right now we're balanced, so we're okay right now. It was a very challenging budget process that we went through. We cut 4,800 and some odd jobs from government jobs. This is the smallest government that we've had in Ohio since the Reagan era back in the 80s. So we really were very aggressive in trying to streamline and be as efficient as possible, because we wanted to do the least amount of harm, especially to our social services. Because it was kind of a cyclical, a negative cyclical process that was happening, because as more and more people were losing their jobs and families being impacted by the recession, we're facing a reduction in revenue as well. So we're trying to make sure that we have as many people covered, and we're prepared to absorb more people that were by the month, by the thousands being added to these roles, and needing those supports, from our government as well. Looking to next year's general revenue, not really excited. It's going to be equally as challenging. The economy is rebounding, but not nearly to the extent that it has been impactful for us from a recovery standpoint, to where, oh yeah, we're sure we have enough in the kitty to, to be able to speak to all of our concerns. Some of that will be offset by casinos, actually. They're going to contribute a nice chunk into the tax base there, which will be helpful. We're really focusing, that's why the investment part that I spoke about in terms of feeding into business development and emerging industries, and really supporting that, and having partnerships with Ohio State and Ohio University and all of the entities around the state that are already ahead of that. Toledo is a leader in the nation in terms of solar panels and things. So we're trying to really get behind them and support them in their expansion and growth as soon as possible, so that we're continuing to create more and more jobs. And also, as we establish ourselves as leaders in that area, that we're attracting more and more people that are interested. Third Frontier is really a great example of that, because that's really the carrot that says, hey, we believe in this, we're supporting this. And we're putting our money out there for that as well. So that attracts business that's not even in the state to come, and establish here and ultimately bring more job opportunities to us as well. Yes,
I just got two questions.
Sure.
One's about the Marcellus Shale gas reserves that are in the eastern part of Ohio.
Mhm.
Okay, that's my first question.
Natural gas?
Any comments about that? And the second thing is about, has there been any talk about establishing like a duties-free zone in central Ohio? I mean, if you think about it, this is like the distribution mecca of the United States. But you don't see, what would be incredible if you really want to drive, economic activity, just say, hey, we're going to set this place as duty-free, okay? You guys manufacture, you're not going to pay any taxes. Do you have any idea the impact that could drive? Have you thought about anything, any thoughts like that? Or?
We have been, and really, especially since we had such a really horrible budget cycle last time, we've been looking at any number of best practices, anything that especially that will bring a short-term, immediate, stimulus to the economy here. So there's nothing that's off the table. I'm not aware of us having a commitment to go in that direction, but we've been having all different kinds of, and we did nothing to disrupt the cat tax. We didn't want to do anything that would dissuade any business from considering us, as an area to come in. And your first part was, natural
Marcel
gas.
Shell, yeah.
Yeah, had a conversation probably about 2 months ago maybe, with Jack Partridge, who leads Columbia Gas here. And that was one of my questions to him, because I heard a lot of conversation about natural gas and, the eastern part of the Midwest and the East Coast and, the finds that they have there and what those opportunities could mean to us. So those investigations are definitely already underway by the people that are in that business. There's opportunity there, and they've been working directly with the governor, I know, to try to identify where the opportunity is to get underway the fastest, to start creating jobs and, and offer some relief, some energy relief to us. And that would not just support Ohio. That would be a
You'd
regional
think
support.
that would be like a no-brainer, because we're exporting dollars out of here for all the money, so,
Absolutely.
you know what I'm saying? Just-
Absolutely. So, again, these are all things that are underway, but in terms of the actual development, construction, getting
Yeah.
it
It's challenging.
physically
Yeah.
established, it takes a minute. And you have to have the agreement and the partnership between public and private sector, as to who's gonna put up what, for what period of time, what that partnership's going to look like. But absolutely, we recognize that opportunity, for sure.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
I understand some people in the Senate are playing with the idea of bringing the Arizona anti-immigration law to Ohio. Is that taking any root in the House?
No, sir. It is not. And yes, to my understanding, that legislation has actually been drafted. I don't think they introduced it before the
No.
recess, but I know it exists. No, it's not anything that we're interested in the House. It wouldn't be supported in the House. And I can speak for the House in terms of having the majority in that chamber. We would not be supportive of that.
Okay, thank you very much for your speech.
Certainly.
Actually, our community prepared a gift for you.
Oh my gosh.
Company as a speaker, no?
Well, the box alone is.
Actually, it's gonna kind of like remind you of the community this way.
Oh, that's beautiful.
And just, I believe it's gonna stand that way.
Oh, wow, that's beautiful.
Can you take
That's
some picture?
Oh, That's so beautiful. Thank you so much.
Thank you very
I
much.
appreciate
Thank you
it.
very much.
And she is going tomorrow to negotiate with President Obama. When Ohio is behind you, you should be behind Ohio.
I will carry the message. Thank you.
Right. So I believe we are so kind of excited to have our lunch because we have a great food from Shish Kebab restaurant, one of the restaurants close here. So please go see, it's self-service, you can go and make sure you're.